hard to tell a customer now. Exactly. You got to sometimes. Or then you get looks, you leave the customer in a hole.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear us okay without the microphones? You're okay? Can you hear us in the back? Great. My name is Mark Repkin. I'm Vice President for the Certif-A-Gift company. We're a supplier to the promotional product industry for selling full-service incentive and recognition solutions. And today I'm representing kind of the sales side of us from a supplier's perspective of working with distributors for the past 17 years in helping them implement sales, safety, and other types of incentive and recognition programs. And I want to introduce you to my right, Linda.
Okay, my name is Linda Heyse-Highland, and I am the owner and founder of LinJen Promotions, and I am a distributor like I would guess most of you here in this room, and so my vantage point will be as a distributor who sells incentive programs.
And I'm Brant Dolan, also with Certif-A-Gift, and my vantage point is nearly 20 years of selling incentive programs to end-user companies, so selling direct versus selling through a distributor.
And over to our right, we have John Fox from Venture Marketing, and I've asked him to help facilitate today's conversation and keep us on track. And so as we get into today's conversation, obviously we're a small group, so I'll encourage any questions as we go along. We're certainly happy to answer those. And incentive programs really provide a tremendous opportunity to promotional product distributors in a number of different ways. Just so I can get a pulse here, how many people are actual promotional product distributors? Is everybody here a promotional product distributor? Okay. So here's something that I heard the other day on a post-education session at the ASI show, and some of the distributors that attended the educational workshops were asked a question of, what are they looking for? Why are incentives important? And comments like, the economy has been a challenge and sales have been hard to come by. My core embroidery business is down and I'm looking for new customers and new things to sell existing customers. I've been selling for 5 years and I'm looking for a different approach. I've been selling products, not ideas. Promotional product sales have been very cutthroat and I need to differentiate myself. Anyone sound familiar to anybody?
Are you listening to our conversations?
Yeah, right. So yeah, we're listening to your conversations, absolutely. So, so I think that it's really nice to have people here that are interested in looking to differentiate their business, and incentive programs really provide an opportunity to do that because you're taking a consultative approach. So I hope today's session will be informative to you, and what we're going to do at the end, I'm going to hopefully do something a little different than maybe what you've done in the past. We reserve the last 10 minutes to extract your ideas. And the question I'm going to ask you at that point is, what was your aha moment today? What was something of value to you in the audience? Because although we're presenting, we want to really, sometimes the best little gems are going to be things that you heard us say and share with each other. So we'll reserve the last 10 minutes to do that. And hopefully you'll get some good insights. So with that, turn it over to John Fox.
Great. Well, welcome again. I'm going to be asking the questions, and as Mark said, if you do have questions of your own, go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll call on you, and we'll get the right speaker to answer your question. So today's presentation is going to be broken into 4 segments. The first is going to talk about sales strategy. So put a little think behind this, as Brant would say, and spend a little time thinking about how you're going to go about doing this and selling promotional or incentive products. The second is how you're going to go about doing prospecting and some techniques that the speakers have to share with you. Then the third, I think, is going to be by far the best. My favorite is, what are the good questions to ask when you're in front of a prospect? And then lastly, what are the best practices that you can follow? So those are the 4 segments, and think about that. If you have some questions along those, we'll wait till we get to those segments. So the first question is for Linda, and that is, what are the major sales strategy differences between selling promotional products and then performance incentive programs like this?
Okay, so the question is the difference between selling promotional products and incentives. And from my perspective, there's really, it's a lot more similar things than different things. And I think one of the dangers as a promotional products person is that we get seen as a commodity person. And so once that happens, everything's about price, price, price. And it's really, you know, it will just kill you. So what you want to do, if you, hopefully you're doing this now, but if you're not doing this now, you know, I want you to think about changing your hat, put a different hat on, and be more of a consultant. So, and how do you do this? Well, you know, go in and see the client and sit down and actually take a notebook out and learn about that customer. Learn about what their goals are and their challenges, and have that discussion. You know, don't get right into how many luggage tags do you want or see this cool new widget. You know, that's, once you start that, you're starting off on the wrong foot. So, so I think what I want to say to you, if you're going to really work with a customer, it's not so much different than what you need to be doing now. Because now you need to be a consultant, otherwise you're going to be a commodity. So start thinking of yourself as someone who's going to help your customers achieve some goals, and learn and listen and take notes, and just find out what things they're trying to do and trying to accomplish in their business. And all those things will start to be revealed. It will kind of come to you in the questions you ask them. And it's listening much more than it is talking.
Did you have thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that, you know, as a supplier in this industry, really a week doesn't go by that somebody doesn't call me and tell me about a situation that they missed an opportunity. And so it's really important as part of the selling process to establish yourself right up front that you're not only a promotional consultant, but that you offer incentive and recognition programs. So as Linda was saying, it's really starting off with the approach on how you're doing that, and making sure that your customers, each and every one of your customers, thinks of you as a resource for this. Because if they don't, the odds are that something's going to fly right past you.
So we hear a lot about incentives and recognition. And Brant, question for you is, what's the difference between those two, and could you give us some examples?
Well, they're probably fairly obvious, and we had a session on this yesterday, but we talk about incentives are something that need to be earned. Recognition is usually something that's given. And then in the matter of any program that you're talking about with a prospective customer, for instance, a recognition program we would deem as a years of service program. You know, I've been on the job 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. I'm recognized somehow by my company. Versus an incentive program, be it an employee-based, sales-based, there's usually some think put behind what do we need the sales team to do, what do we need our employees to do, what initiatives are we trying to drive, and how are we going to map that out and present it to the audience to reach and exceed the goals we'd like to see at the company. So, but there's a blend of each. Not saying you can't have an incentive program where you see it over some recognition. An example would be if you're in the travel business, everyone wins the trip to Hawaii at part of the President's Club, but they're also recognized at the final night banquet dinner with a nice award plaque or something like that to take home.
Yeah, I always like to make the distinction between incentive and recognition is that incentives are about a future behavior or result, and recognition is about something that's been accomplished already. And so in Brant's example of a service award program, that distinction is that obviously someone's already hit their 5-year, 10-year, 15-year anniversary. So they've done that. You didn't have to put out the incentive for them to do that. They've already done it, and it provides you an opportunity to recognize someone. Whereas the incentive is really trying to drive forward and saying we have a performance gap, something difference between, as I like to say, what is versus what ought to be. So here's what current performance is. That's the existing state. And then you have a desired state of what you hopefully will drive performance at. And so when you're listening to customers and you're in that conversation, it's kind of easy to pinpoint those when you're having conversations with people, because you actually will hear when they make a performance gap. They'll make the comment and saying, situation is today is, our sales are X, and, God, I really wish that they could be Y. Well, that's a performance gap. So that provides an opportunity to drill down and ask some specific questions.